Uh, I I think I'm way in over my head this time. So, you definitely know of Mario and Sonic. Don't lie, you know of them. And since you do know of them, you also know of the highly debated topic between them. Who wins Mario versus Sonic? Now, I plan to answer this question, but no matter what I say, someone's gonna disagree, someone's gonna get mad, someone's gonna do something. Um, so to try and make this as fair as possible and to reach a full conclusion on who wins, I'm going to be using all of their versions. Archie Sonic, Mario Kun, Paper Mario, Mario, Game Sonic. And yeah, Paper Mario is canon, by the way. I have something that proves that, and I can put it in the description. So if you want to see the proof for Paper Mario being canon, go ahead and look at that. So Mario basically has everything already except for Mario Kun, which I don't think it's canon. Um, but yeah, we're gonna give Mario and Sonic everything they have so that we can reach a full conclusion and so that the fight is as fair as possible. So, get comfy, grab a few snacks, get a drink, because this is going to be a long video, and let's see who wins, Mario or Sonic. So, to get a good baseline and get a good start on Mario scaling, I'm gonna go ahead and show proof for Super Space, which bare minimum is 5D. And how I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna scale the cosmology, and then prove how Mario scales to it. So, yeah. Um, but yeah, at the barest of bare minimum, uh, the cosmology is 5D, and hold on, I'm yawning. Oh shit. And at the highest, it's high hyperversal since it has infinite dimensions. Um, but it's also stated to have more than 4 coordinates. So 5D to high hyper already. And yeah, it just gets crazier from here. So um some more higher stuff because I'm not using any of the building level shit. Hell no. Some of the higher level stuff is, well, the Dream Depot. We're gonna start with the Dream Depot here. The Dream Depot has uh, infinite dreams inside of it, and dreams are referred to as universes. Uh, and uh, they're stated to be a higher consciousness, which consciousness is also referred to for dreams. So we can logically conclude, excuse me, we can logically conclude that this is an infinite RF. Probably is stacking, I don't know, but infinite RF transcendences. So yeah, and again, it just gets fucking crazier from here. Back to the Dream Depot. Earlier in the game, Plato was stated to exist in the verse, like the guy. This is very important, as the Dream Depot is also stated to contain thoughts. Not just dreams, it also contains dreams, thoughts, and hope, which we're going to get to the hope part in a bit for one of Mario's most broken hacks ever. And back to the second one, thoughts. Thoughts are referred to as theories. I think you can see where I'm going with this. If Plato ever slept in his entire life, which he did, he's a human, this would mean that we can logically conclude that Platonism exists in the Dream Depot because the Dream Depot contains thoughts and dreams. Dreams have thoughts. And since we know that, this means that Platonism should exist in the verse. But there's even more proof for this, but this is the only one I have right now. But there's other outer versal shit in Mario. To start, let's talk about the cutout. Well, actually, we'll get to the cutout in a bit. The cutout is really overpowered. So let's start with let's start with flip side. Flip side is stated to be between dimensions. Now, this is really important as the kanji is referring to mathematical dimensions or spatial temporal dimensions. This means that it is between dimensionality. It's not in one, it's between them. This doesn't mean that it's 0D, this just means that it is not in its own dimension. It doesn't have one. It's not in dimensionality, so to speak. So I think you can see where I'm going with this. Since it's not inside dimensionality, this would mean that it should be outer versal. Excuse me. So since it's outer versal, this means that, well, the cosmology is outer versal. Duh. And now, for the woe zone. You can get Mario's cosmology to outer versal with this one scan. Because it's stated to be beyond space itself, which that means that it's beyond the concept of space or the boundaries of space. This will be important for later. And it's also stated that dimensionality is a part of space because it says you'll confuse up for down, left for right, or yeah. So this means that it should be beyond dimensionality. Now, how do directions refer to dimensionality? I can easily answer that. Just give me 1 second. Okay. I made an argument on Discord for a different character about this. Alright, here it is. Alright, so directions are axes. Let me explain how. There are the X, Y, and Z axes, and those represent directions. For example, the Z-axis represents the direction for up and down, and dimensionality equals axes. This is how. The X, Y, and Z are 3 axes, and our dimensionality is 3. I'm referring to humans here, because we have 3 dimensions. And we know this because we can move in 3 axes. So therefore, axes are directions, and so that means directions are dimensionality, since axes are dimensionality, and since directions are axes. So we can conclude that the woe zone is outer versal. It's outer versal. And, well, that's just the woe zone. But there is so much more. And there is one thing that Mario scales to, which scales him to all of this. So, let's get into the other thing. Cutout. My favorite outer versal argument for Mario. As in Paper Mario, It's consistently stated that when it refers to dimensions, it's referring to the mathematical or spatial temporal dimensions. This means dimensionality, like I said before. Like with what's it called? The void. The void stating it was going to destroy all existence, all worlds, all dimensions. The kanji in that is referring to mathematical dimensions. And in flip side, when the guy says that flip side is between dimensions, it's again referring to the mathematical dimensions. This means that in Paper Mario, it is consistently stated that when it says dimensions, it's referring to dimensionality. So, what does this mean? This means that in this one scan where it's stated that with cutout they can transcend dimensions, we can logically conclude that it's referring to dimensionality, since over the course of the game, every time it says dimensions, it's referring to dimensionality. So therefore, cutout should be 1A, but we can make this more consistent with the fact it's also stated to transcend the boundaries of space and time. And earlier, transcending the concept of space is also transcending its boundaries. And since we already know that dimensionality is a part of space in Mario, and I'm pretty sure it's also part of its boundaries in real life, this would mean that it is outerversal. And we can get this, and we can make this even more overpowered with the fact it's implied to be a part of the aether of the universe. This makes the universe in Mario outerversal, not just your regular space-time shit. It's outer. Yeah. Mario's cosmology is outerversal, but how does he scale to this? Well, with several things. Like I said, the cutout is implied to be the cosmic aether of the universe. And Bowser had this machine that was going to destroy the universe, which he later on tanked, and Mario obviously scales to him. I don't think I even need to show a scan or image or video or whatever to prove Mario scales to Bowser. Bowser's the main villain. So, I don't think I even need to prove that. Mario's beaten him like 40 times. If y'all need proof that Mario beat Bowser, you've been living under a rock. But anyways, not Mario, but Bowser tanked this explosion. This means that he should scale to the cutout, since the cutout is like the cosmic aether of the universe, and it's, well, outer. And so this would mean that Bowser's outerversal, Mario scales to him, so outerversal. But there is a better way to prove Mario scales to everything I just mentioned. But before that, I want to quickly say that you can stack Dream Depot on all of the outerversal stuff to get infinite layers into outerversal. So that's something. And then I'm pretty sure you can even argue high outer, since there's a higher consciousness, meaning that there's a higher being. So, yeah. Anyways, the void was stated again that it was going to destroy all of existence, all worlds, and all dimensions. The all dimensions thing, remember, it's referring to mathematical dimensions. So at the lowest, this is high hyper. But how does the void prove that it scales Mario to the cosmology? Well, it's very simple. The void was also stated that it was going to destroy all of existence, meaning it was going to destroy Flipside, Cutout, Woe Zone, the higher consciousness, Dream Depot. And even Bowser was going to destroy the Dream Depot. But that's kind of iffy since it says he was going to ruin it. This could mean that he was just going to cause havoc. But the Void outright states it was going to destroy all of existence. This means that it's going to destroy everything, not just the universe, but everything, since it says all existence. This means Flipside, Cutout, Wozone, like I said, all of it. This means that the Void scales to everything. But Mario tanked it. He literally tanked the Void, but it left him unconscious afterwards. But he tanked it. This means that he should scale to everything in the verse. And with the cutout making him transcend the dimensions, this would make him outerversal in existence. And so would the Dream Depot, because RFs. This would give Mario irrelevant speed as well. So Mario is high outerversal, well, infinite layers into outerversal to high outerversal with irrelevant speed. But he has so many broken hexes after this. Like plot manipulation with the Star Rod, which the Star Rod also grants all wishes, making it meta wish manipulation. But it gets even better from here, because the Dream Stone and the Dark Stone are also stated to grant all wishes. This would also make it meta. And with the Dream Depot having all hopes and dreams and shit, this would mean that and since hopes are referred to as wishes, this means that the Dream Stone and the Dark Stone can grant all these wishes. And, well, kind of stacks on top of them, so if you want to argue it, you can kind of argue infinite layered wish manipulation. But I don't know if that's all that well, but I do know that it is meta wish manipulation, which means good. It's really good, really fucking good. And then on top of this, we have Paint. What does Paint do? Paint is the functionality of everything. Everything. This makes holes function as holes. This makes water function as water. This makes fire function as fire. Paint is the functionality of everything in the Mario universe. So, this makes Paint conceptual, especially since they can paint ideas which are abstract concepts, which makes it even more consistent that it's, well, conceptual. Mario can even remove this paint. This means Mario can remove someone's paint. This means he can remove their functionality. That is just busted. That's just really busted. So, would that be conceptual destruction? Not really, because you're not really destroying their concept. You're removing it. You're just removing it. And their functionality. So this would be more like conceptual alteration, but it could also be conceptual destruction, if you want to argue that. But, I don't know. But, in conclusion, this is not even all Mario's hexes, by the way. I'm only mentioning the good ones. In conclusion, Mario is infinite layers into outerversal to high outerversal with irrelevant speed, with plot manipulation, meta wish manipulation, and conceptual alteration or conceptual destruction if you really want to argue it. But he also can regenerate his own paint, making him have high godly regeneration. And I'm pretty sure he can even negate that as well. So, yeah. He's kind of busted. So, Sonic is a character who can scale to the Time Eater, who, like, ripped apart space-time, which is Universal Plus, but there's more context to it. I'll put the thing up that gives more context to it in a bit. It should be on screen now. But I want to move on to, like, some of the higher shit that Sonic has, considering that, you know, Mario's at, like, outerversal right now. We kind of need to move on to Sonic shit. because he desperately needs to get high to even stand a chance. And we're gonna get him very high. All right, don't worry. Okay. So, um, I guess we'll start off with Sonic Boom having a string theory. It has string theory, which is, if I remember correctly, which is 10-dimensional, which is like high complex multiversal. So, yeah. um, really good already. You know, really good shit. And again, I'm gonna scale the cosmology. Then I'm gonna scale like all the other stuff. Um, and then like I'm gonna prove how Sonic scales to it. Uh, so yeah. Moving on to some of the other stuff that he has. He also has quantum mechanics, which without context doesn't mean anything. But it was stated by an author that that it's infinite dimensional. So yeah, easy, easy dubs right there. Um, what else? What else? Oh yeah, also there are higher planes of existence in the Archie comics. There's like 3. Um, so yeah, that's pretty good too, I'd say. It's pretty good. Uh, Sonic also was able to move in a white space that was devoid of space and time, giving him immeasurable speed. That's pretty good. There's also stated to be uh infinite possibilities in the Sonic universe. Yeah, they're stated to be infinite possibilities. So yippee! Oh shit! Yawned again. Fuck. So yeah. Then there is some other cosmological stuff like the imaginary world, cosmic interstate, you know, shit like that. Um, and the imaginary world was stated to be extra dimensional. So there's something there. There is something there. And there was even stated to be extra dimensional worlds, plural. So that should be like 4D to 5D, pretty sure. Um and then uh then there's the Chaos Force, which was stated to transcend stuff like the imaginary world and cosmic interstate. It was stated to like transcend everything, like the highest plane. Um he also possesses uh he also fought someone who possesses infinite power. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. High universal, but that's not even the highest he can get. So, yeah. He has a lot of cosmology stuff that I just do not know about. I researched a lot and I was trying to put together like the Sonic scale stuff as quick as I could. so I could get this video out. But I'm sorry if I'm stuttering a lot. I just had more time to research into Mario stuff than I did for Sonic. I should have given myself more time, honestly. But it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's very fine, actually. Cause I spent like 17 fucking minutes, um, making that Mario scale. But um, yeah. Moving on to some other stuff. He also collaborated with like Mega Man, like in the Archie comics. He collaborated with Mega Man, and they defeated Sigma. He's gonna be very important later on, but yeah. So we know Sonic's cosmology is like high hyper, but his cosmology actually gets higher, and he also gets higher. So let's get into this. So high hyper, there's two versions of it: countable and uncountable. Without context, if it's uncountable, we assume it's countable. So it says infinite dimensional, but there's no context if it's uncountably infinite dimensional. We just know it's infinite dimensional. So I will assume it's countable, but since there are higher realms within the verse, three specifically, one that transcends over the countable, one and another that transcends over that, then another. That means that the Archie Comics cosmology, as weird as it sounds, I promise, I promise, okay? This is accurate, so please don't go for my head for saying this. After researching this, I'm going to conclude his cosmology to be outer-versal, or more specifically, one layer into outer-versal. Since you do need two transcendences to get to outer-versal over a countably infinite dimensional space, and since there are higher realms on top of the cosmology, on top of, like, the base stuff, and since it does have infinite dimensional quantum mechanics, this would mean that this would mean that since it has three, this would mean that it has one layer into outer-versal, but we can get him higher. Not only do we scale him to the cosmology, but we can get him higher than the cosmology, because Sigma was in the Archie comics when they collaborated. Sigma was stated that he was going to transcend the entire cosmology. This would mean that Sigma is two layers into outer-versal, and Sonic and Mega Man in their super forms beat him. Now, there is no context over how much of an increase the super forms are. There's not really any context to that. Actually, he could probably get 3 layers into outer-versal, because the Chaos Force transcends over those 3 planes, or maybe it is a part of the 3 planes, I don't know. But I'm gonna say 2 layers to 3 layers. Into outer-versal. And Sonic scales to him, since there's not really any context over how much of an increase the super forms are. I'm gonna assume that even the base form is just, like, slightly weaker than the super forms. Making even base Sonic just slightly weaker into the same power. And if he isn't, then I don't really have any scales for base Sonic. I only have for Super Sonic. So whatever. So they both get into outer-versal, right? But well, let's get into Sonic's taxes. Sonic is immeasurable speed, he could probably get to irrelevance since he did fight with Sigma, who was transcending the entire cosmology. Um, and since that would stack on top of the infinite dimensional stuff and the outerversal stuff, this would mean that he could probably get to irrelevance B2, since he did fight Sigma, but there's no real proof he kept up with Sigma. We just know he fought Sigma. We don't really know if he kept up with him. That, as far as I know, at least, or if they blitzed him. I think they did. I think he did blitz Sigma. So, so, therefore, I'm gonna conclude Sonic with the Archie comics. 2 to 3 layers into outerversal. I know this is kind of a weird take. Some people will probably disagree with this, but I'm just stating what I'm finding. Okay, I found these scales, and I'm just stating these scales. Okay, so if you have a problem with it, then tell me about it in the comments. Okay. But if you don't believe that, then he's most certainly he's most certainly high hyper due to like the transcendences and shit like that. But if he is high hyper, then he's immeasurable speed. If he's outerversal, then he's immeasurable to irrelevant speed. But yeah. Now let's get into his hexes. He has a lot more hexes for me to just go off of than Mario. Well, not like a lot more hexes, just like stuff I can mention. Because Mario has a lot of hexes, but they're more or less contained within something else. So, yeah. Let's so let's get into that. Sonic has subjective reality with the excuse me. He has subjective reality with the Chaos Emerald and Chaos Rings. Or Power Rings, or whatever the hell they're called. He also has stuff like wish manipulation, conceptual creation, and just a lot more stuff. And he also has low godly regeneration and resurrection. So, yeah. He also has power nullification as well. He also has abstract existence. And possibly fate manipulation. Hold on, I'm just reading something. Anyways. So yeah. He has abstract existence, resurrection, low godly, law manipulation. He has a lot of stuff. He also has information manipulation, higher dimensional manipulation too. And he also has non-physical interaction. There has a lot more. I mean, him and Mario have a lot more hexes, but I'm just going over their best hexes because they have so many fucking fodder hexes that we would be here forever if I was just naming all of their hexes off, which I'm not willing to do. So, overall, Archie Sonic is a character who can scale from high hyper to 3 layers into outerversal, or 2 layers to 3 layers into outerversal, He has immeasurable to irrelevant speed, and he has a fuck ton of hexes. So, yeah. Now, we just move on to the conclusion. Alright, now that we have them all scaled and set, let's quickly go over where I have them again, and then we'll go to the conclusion. For Mario, I have him at infinite layers into outer versal to high outer versal with irrelevant speed, with plot manipulation, meta wish manipulation, possibly infinitely layered, and everything Paint has, which I listed before. For Sonic, I have him at high hyper to 2 layers into outer versal to 3 layers into outer versal, with immeasurable to irrelevant speed, with victory manipulation / fate manipulation, or like victory inducement or something, invulnerability, non-physical interaction. What are the hexes again? Shit. Fuck, I don't remember the hexes. Oh yeah, also higher dimensional manipulation. He also has wish manipulation too. I'm pretty sure I showed the scan for that. If I didn't, I'll go ahead and show the scan on screen. But he also has a lot more than just that. So, after getting all of this information and going through it, thinking about it, I have determined that the winner is, drumroll please, Mario! Negative difficulty, or no difficulty. Due to several reasons. First of all, he completely outscales and counters most, if not all, of Sonic's hexes with just his plot manipulation and meta wish manipulation. He can just wish or just change the plot. Yeah, sure. The fates ensure Sonic's victory, but that is completely countered by plot manipulation. If Mario feels like he's losing or whatever, he can just change the story or just wish Sonic out of existence or just take away his paint. He can just take away Sonic's paint, which would completely remove his concept, destroying him. That would and he also can fully kill Bowser, who has a way higher regeneration than Sonic. So Mario would not only negate his resurrection and low godly, he'd also completely remove his concept and also completely negate the Fates victory inducement with his plot manipulation and meta wish manipulation. Sure, Sonic has a lot of good hexes, and they both scale somewhat the same. They scale to outer versal, first of all, but Mario's higher into outer versal, and he definitely has irrelevant speed, whereas Sonic is questionably has irrelevant. He's immeasurable to irrelevant. So Mario is ironically faster. He outscales and he out-hexes completely. This is just one of the most one-sided fights I have ever seen in my life. And really, I know someone's gonna try and say otherwise, like, no, it actually goes like this. But going through everything I just said, it's hard to deny that. It's hard to really deny really hard to deny Mario beating Sonic. Sonic just can't really do anything. Sure, Sonic has victory inducement, but Mario has a better version of that, which is plot manipulation. Sonic has low godly regeneration, but Mario has high godly and can negate high godly. Sonic has resurrection, but Mario can just take away his concept, completely removing him or removing his functionality. He can't do anything at that point. So, after going through all of this, I'm gonna have to say Mario is the winner. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, like, subscribe, comment, whatever. Here are some quick shoutouts on screen. King Dedede doesn't have a YouTube channel, neither does Dan Dio, but Fire Puglord has a channel. Go check him out. It's at Fire Puglord the Second. Go check him out. He's really cool. Thank you so much for watching. If you agree or disagree, please leave it in the comments and please explain why. Don't just say nuh-uh and then leave it at that. If you disagree, give actual reasoning why you disagree. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. This took forever to make. Thank you so much for watching. This is going to be part 1 of a series I'm going to be doing now called Popular Debates, where there are these characters which are popular debates, and I'm going to be covering them and giving my own opinions on them. And I'm also going to be giving my opinion on who I think wins. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. Have a lovely day.